G2 and are your spring split champions!
3 rookies prove themselves worthy of the top 4 in the EU LCS. A double kill from Perch! This guy is a madman! He can do it! Oh, Memento! You beautiful man! Guess the Quadra! Gonna be a picture for Kobe!
It's time to find out who will rise. This is the EU LCS.
Welcome back to Berlin, Germany, and tiebreaker day in the EU LCS Summer Split. After some insane events yesterday, Schalke 04, Vitality, and G2 Esports are going to battle for second place and a bye to the semi-finals. You saw Kikis, you saw Chachi coming in. Both those guys looking to find some wins today. I'm Daniel Dracos, happy to be guiding you through this day of League of Legends. But before we talk about today, we need to talk a little bit about yesterday, because yesterday was insane. Believe it or not, getting to a three-way tiebreaker scenario does lead to some crazy, crazy results. 3 massive upsets, and Pyra, you're going to take us through them.
Thank you very much, Dracos. Now, if you only tuned in today for the tiebreakers, you might be wondering, what the hell actually happened yesterday? All right, we got you covered. We're going to go ahead and take a look. Yesterday was chock full of upsets, and the first one that comes to mind is Rocket's win over Misfits. Rocket's jungler Memento turned up the dial to 11 and Ragnaroked his way all the way into the Baron pit, stealing it away from Misfits. Now, Misfits had already been struggling a lot in the last half of the split, but Rocket's decisive play really sealed the deal. They wiped away Misfits' shot at contending for a playoff bye, and that was that. Now, next up is the Unicorns of Love versus Fnatic. That proved to be another barn burner in this storied matchup. Unicorns had struggled to find wins against teams all split long, but on the final day, they traded blow for blow until finally they took Fnatic down once again by the Baron pit. And of course, finally, forget the year of the duck. Forget about it. And forget about upset. None of that stuff mattered. As yesterday, H2K secured their win number 2, making the fabled H216 dream a reality in a tumultuous split. With no shortage of heartbreak for H2K, their performance against a previously unstoppable Schalke 04 was simply inspiring. So that's how we got here today. Back to you, Dracos.
Interesting results, to be certain. I think everyone here was excited and honestly just did not know how to process everything that was going on. But in terms of today, I do need a little support. I need a little assistance in terms of breaking down everything that's coming. So I am going to be joined by Trevor Quickshot Henry and the Moose on the Loose, Martin Official, also known as the Superior Analyst, Trevor's Mistress, many titles, depends on what you want to call him. Now,
My piece on the side. That's what it's about.
Piece.
All great titles.
Exactly. Unfortunately, all true as well.
All right, well,
That was definitely not rehearsed.
There you go. Vitality's win over G2 in the last game does mean that Fnatic have secured first place in the regular season, with Misfits Gaming ending up in 5th. So we have a lot of things already locked in today, 5th, 6th, and 1st. Yesterday, we could have seen the G2 versus Fnatic tiebreaker, gentlemen. We could have had the dream.
The fight for first, it could have happened.
The Clash of Kings could have been a real thing again.
But G2 decided not to play League of Legends, and Jankos got ran over by Vitality, which set us up for this very exciting three-way tiebreaker.
Which is fair, yeah.
It was a difficult course, but then, of course, we look at the rest of the standings. It was kind of an interesting results across the day to lead us to this point. And if Misfits, from what looked like an unstoppable split for the first half, we're like, oh, these guys first, second, no one's really going to touch them. Maybe Fnatic. Now it's, how are they going to win in the playoffs?
Yeah.
What do we even say at this point?
Are they like even, a top 6 team in Europe at this point? They're 2-7 in the second half, same record as H2K down in the bottom, and that obviously really tells the story of a team who's completely forgotten how to play the game right now. Nothing seems to work. They made a huge deal out of Mickey returning. He was gone for 2 days, but he returned, and then it was like, we have fixed all our issues. This is the moment.
Don't buy the hype.
No, do not buy the hype.
Don't buy into the hype.
It was bad.
This is a team that went 9-0 and now are down in 5th place. They're going to be watching today's tiebreakers very, very closely because, of course, whoever loses today will be facing them. You're going to be looking at the battle for the bye. That's what Vitality, Schalke, and G2 are looking to play for. But whoever loses in our round robin and ends up in that 4th seed, they're going to be taking on Misfits. And you can see on the bracket, actually, it's just swapped over. Whoever's going to be playing against Misfits could also potentially be facing up against Fnatic once that reseeding happens.
And of course, the reasoning is something we always have to talk about. The lowest possible seed remaining from the teams that move through after quarterfinals will go up against Fnatic, with the higher seed going toe-to-toe with whoever wins the bye today. So a lot on the line, and we know a lot right now about the road to Madrid. We know Fnatic will be in Madrid, whether it's 1st place or 3rd place, and we'll know at least one more team that will have secured a spot there by the end of today.
And even if you're the kind of person who feels like, it doesn't matter what road you take to the final because you have to beat every team anyway. I think that's completely wrong, and you're dumb, because just getting to the final in the summer split due to championship points,
I mean,
and the chance of making it to Worlds as a second seed means dodging Fnatic is important.
it's also especially important because almost all of our top teams got upset yesterday, so I don't think anyone is like,
that's
we're
true.
the best, we need to prove we're the best in Europe. They're like, please, we just need to win, we need to go through.
The thing is, being upset and having top teams actual struggle is a good sign, maybe not for Misfits, but maybe for Splice, because these are the two weakest looking of the top 6 teams, at least if you take several weeks into account. But we are going to best of 5s. It is a different beast altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Teams like Vitality, we know they're great in a BO1. We know Kikis is this explosive play style. We were talking about it earlier today to Fisher, that this is a guy that's got 6 Player of the Game awards in the 8 games that he has played. How adaptable is in a BO5? Can he have that explosiveness with a full week of prep when the opponents can study his gameplay, etc.? And those are the questions that we're going to be finding out next week.
How many aggressive junglers does he have? Yamada Cannon was on PGL.
I heard 20.
I heard him say 20 as well. I started putting it around 10. He was like, no, 20, man. We got so
15,
many.
20, yeah.
I'm still waiting for Udyr. He has to do it for Kikis, the brand, the Unicorns of Love, Flash, Bear Slap, blah, 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 blah. All of it.
Someone had to say it with Trevor on Ready Check.
has
You have to. It's like one of the iconic moments for Kikis, and well, for me as well. Thank you, buddy.
Do you want to mention Elise real quick so we can get the other famous Trevor line in?
I mean, if we can, but I'll save that one because the Cocoon is a special spell name. But yeah, I mean, quarterfinals, it's same
was-
showtime.
yeah.
Friday, Saturday next week. So, make sure you tune in and check it out. We're going to have full Ready Checks. I want to see who's going to be facing Misfits and Splice. That's what we find out today.
Exactly, and I'm excited to see exactly what that means for the rest of the standings, and of course how the matches shape up today. I think we'll have a clear indicator of relative playoff strength, but there's always a lot of things that change with that week of preparation. Now, it wasn't just the teams that fought yesterday. Vedius and Deficio continued their battle for Superior Analyst, with the Dane coming out on top in the end. And today we're going to put him on the spot in our DX Racer hot seat.
That means I'm asking questions. I have some prepared. I have some prepared.
Brought enough to share.
Are we going to share this, Dracos?
I think we're going to share this.
Okay.
Maybe because I left my card back in the room.
Okay, all right. So I guess you have to set this up, right?
This is the DX Racer hot seat. Are you ready, Deficio?
I am ready.
All right.
Okay, you take first. I'm too nervous.
All right. What rank are you in the game League?
No, look at the camera. Don't look at us.
Sorry. Diamond 4, but Challenger, effective in how I play.
Okay, what is your favorite champion?
Right now, Zyra.
Can you name 2 of her abilities?
Plants and Snare.
Okay, you failed.
E and Q.
Who is your favorite Danish League of Legends player?
Ever.
Ooh.
Good count.
I mean, I
Tick tock, tick tock.
used to be
tock,
Bjergsen
tick tock.
when he carried me.
Tock.
Now, favorite Danish player. Everyone. I love all the Danes.
Oh, cop out.
Oh,
weak.
no. We're not going to accept that. You got to give us a lead. You
One,
got to give us something.
go, quick, first
one.
thought.
Cold.
Okay.
Cold. Favorite Danish player. Love it. All right. Who's going to win the summer split?
Fnatic.
Who will win Worlds?
Fnatic.
Did you ever get that kiss from Trevor?
There's a picture of it, so yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Well, I got proof.
What is your favorite memory of our relationship?
There's so many great ones. A lot of them I can't mention on air, but I guess our cast in Spain, 2015 spring, where Unicorns of Love made the final,
It's where you asked me out.
and the famous moment with Trevor Kiss Me happened. It's probably my favorite moment.
I like the strategy there. You put the pressure on him in public,
Yeah.
Also, the
I
butt
couldn't
slap
cop
was
out.
great. I will say the butt slap too.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What is your favorite LCS-related meme? Or meme, as you might know.
Yeah.
I can see the confusion in his eyes.
What year?
Currently H216. I was a big fan of that.
All right. Monty or Jat?
Oh, that's an old one. Damn.
That's not an answer. You have to pick one. Come on.
Give me some Jad right here.
All right, chicken or fish?
Chicken.
All right.
Favorite time you swore on broadcast?
So many as well. My first one where Joe Miller told me if I did it again, I would get fired. And then I did it the day after, and I didn't get fired. So that was probably my favorite one.
Yeah, I definitely regret that decision. During your first year as a shoutcaster, you had one and only one interview.
Oh,
Tell me
I hate
about
you.
it. Who was it with? And how do people find it on the internet?
Do not try and find this on the internet. It was with Dreams was his name. He's now a reality star in France, it's a crazy story. And back then, we did an interview before he was playing against the Copenhagen Wolves, and he was talking about how he didn't feed his team. I believe it was Millennium. He didn't feed them, so they were hungry to eat wolves. And like, I stood there as my first interview. I had my producers laughing in my ear, and I looked so lost. And I don't think I did an interview after that.
You didn't very recently. It took about 3 years. You were so
3
bad.
years.
We didn't want to.
And that was due to a bet I had to do the wrong
we had to
thing.
take him off all of them.
Why do you have to mention
Okay,
that
last question.
interview?
Last question. Go, go, go.
You obviously failed as a pro player, so what would you be doing now if you weren't a caster? Say interviewer, I dare you.
I would probably, I'd be a professional interviewer for the LCS. And I would be the best.
I think we
ever.
have to cut it there because he's
okay,
terrible
alright,
at
he's so
interviews.
awful.
Okay, you survived the hot seat. You survived the hot
Those
seat.
questions were rough, man.
We had a lot of throwbacks.
A lot of
in
rough
there.
questions.
Thank
If you
you.
were ready for like the questions coming from me, we had 2015 memes, we had 2016
Gotta
memes.
do it.
I know.
Dude, you got some legacy here. You know, a few years of drama to draw from. It was tough narrowing down the list.
I mean, the only one I hated was the one about the first interview.
There we go. I know. So make sure you go Google it. All right. Yeah.
That's all
Dreams
I
to
say
Fisher
just last.
interview.
Dreams interview with Deficio. Hungry for some wolves, I think.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
so many things. He never answered my questions.
Nope.
He was hungry and he stared at the camera. It's great.
Dude, I
Please
still
look
love
at it.
that he's a reality star now. It's actually insane.
It's all your training.
Well, now, guys, as we look back on the regular season, it's fair to say that it was filled with hype moments, some fantastic performances, great plays all around, and some plays that didn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's time to react to the very best of them in the EU LCS in My Face Win. Now, this one's a little different because everyone at home, you can vote for your emote during each replay. Your options are...
Oh, the first one's for me. Tee-hee.
All right, next one.
I'm going to do that sound every time. Tee-hee.
Next one is the Blitzcrank, which is going to be 3 question marks.
I'm not going to say something weird.
No, you can't.
No, okay, then
Question
the
mark.
this is fine or this is okay emote with Soraka in the fire. That is okay. And
Oh, wrong one. No, that is right. There you go.
there you go. Got it. And the last one is Depengu or the Dabbing Pengu, and that is simply a dab.
Why are you dabbing? You're 31 years old.
Dude, this is a teamwork
God,
thing.
dab.
Wow.
brings age into it.
You're
Just
too old for this.
Here's the bus. I'm
It's
under
for
it.
me
Okay.
and the kids.
Okay, fair enough.
You're also too old to dab.
Yeah.
We're dabbing.
Anyway,
I think we just need to get the
we'll
clip.
let go of the age discrimination surrounding dabbing. Let's take a look at the first play and see what you guys think.
Where do we watch it? This is my first My Face
they're
Win
gonna
over
go
there.
On a
Okay,
screen,
right,
ideally.
maybe behind us.
All in top lane, and this is a Tron. Oh, it's the Chachi one.
Yeah, flat. That was so sick.
That is
was so sick.
100% the dabber.
Oh, we got a
This is the
follow-up, yeah?
Noscaran play,
Yep.
where he actually steals Kasing's move.
The Abyssal Voyage to escape.
Yeah,
right?
here we go. Wait for it. The Kasing move.
Starts channeling it.
Ooh.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
All right, it's 100%
Oh,
dab.
that is so awesome. Oh, we got a whole bunch back to back. I'm not sure.
Oh, this was unlucky.
Oh, yeah.
By unlucky, I mean bad.
Okay, so this reel is titled Great Escapes.
Okay, so what reaction do we have for Great Escapes?
Dab. Like all 3 of these guys would dab on the way out.
Okay,
Dude.
they would be, but I'm on the other side because I'm on the team that failed to kill them. So I'm the.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is okay.
Can you imagine
The team
watching?
that
You could have done your weird.
No, this isn't a Teehee.
No,
moment.
this
Okay.
This isn't a Teehee.
I've dabbed.
This is
dabbed
I
here.
do
Who's winning?
dabbing.
Is
I
Dab?
for sure.
Chad has to go dab on this.
Holy
Also,
moly.
to be fair, dab is the
63%.
easiest one to type.
Down
out of
with
all
Twitch
the-
chat right here.
Yeah, okay, I'm keen. So are we gonna dab? Let's dab. Come on, dab with me.
Dab.
You're too old for this, Trevor.
Right, next clip. Yeah.
Thank God we've got another clip to get us out of that one. All right, that
That
was
was
great
so
escapes.
bad.
Let's see what else we've got.
Okay, where?
We need video up here for the cringe.
What was this?
Okay.
Oh.
That's what started the losing
So
streak.
this is just like Caps. This has to be a Caps
This
reel.
is the cap styling
Yeah.
on people reel.
It was
oh
that-
no!
it was
Sir
that
Nuke-Salon
Misfits
is gonna
play.
be
yeah, the
here.
Wukong play started the losing streak.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's Sir Nuke-Salon! Oh, my Syra!
that is dirty. This is
one time
straight
I
up
got played.
Tee-hee.
Yo,
Straight
this
up.
is
This is just
definitely
Caps
Matt
going.
Tee-hee.
Tee-hee.
Yeah, I got
I'm so
nothing
good at
there.
this
Stop
game.
dabbing.
Tee-hee.
I got
Twitch chat, you gotta do something other than dab. It's uninspired. Hit us with the tee.
It's,
And if you
there's,
call me old one more time, then there's gonna be.
there's a
Come
bit
on,
of dabbing
give
in
me a
it. There is a bit of
TE.
dabbing,
Like,
but
is nobody voting for my emote? I
wait, they're
got
going for
crap
Blitzcrank
emotes.
here? With the
Blitzcrank,
question
why not?
mark?
This is fine. Twitch.
Is that because of the Nukes a lot when he was like 0-10?
This is
Yeah,
for
that
the
was the
other,
0-10 game. That
This
was
is for the other 4 members of the team pinging, being like, dude, how did you let that happen?
yeah, that's
First time we got Zyra this split.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, this pick's gonna dominate lane. It's gonna push. It's gonna
Bam!
be aggressive.
By the way, if
Right.
you have been watching All Raid Check, the reason he brings up the Zyra was the only champion he could actually play at professional level.
Hold on, there was also Nani, which he died a lot on.
Nami was in there. And I
Now-
qualified playing Nuna support because I
Not about you. This
I
is
could
about
take butt-
EU
You
LCS
brought me
Summer
in here.
Split.
He is
This
catching up,
Yes,
baby.
thank you,
We can
Trevor.
talk about this later,
Thank
Trevor.
you
Hold
for
on,
the support.
Trevor, can you give us one more tee-hee to celebrate the tee-hee victory?
Please.
Now,
Right.
if that wasn't quiet, I don't know what was. All right, moving on to our third
Yes,
play.
please.
I'm
Can
never
we
gonna
get
get
finish
involved in
this?
Best play of all time. Let's. Oh yeah.
Oh,
this
it's
is-
the Chachi.
I called it the greatest play ever.
Dab.
Boom!
Not if you're HK,
Yeah, actually,
though.
I'm putting this away.
If you're HK, you don't
This
do
is
anything
straight up dab.
This
The
is
only answer
100%.
Wait a
to
second.
Vizza Chachi Poppy is dab.
Wait a second. Schalke almost lost to H2K twice this season.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
did.
I just realized.
You realize when Shook gets knocked out, the Elder Drake's already on 300 HP.
Yep.
Just smite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before he gets knocked out.
Do we have the Baron combo as well? No, just the one. Yeah, straight up. My emotes aren't even in here. This is dab.
This is
Legit dab.
Depengu. We're Twitch. We're having a.
There's a legacy thing because my Teehees were so overwhelmingly good. Twitch chat is now on
Yeah,
my
it's
camp,
true. We're gonna need to
but
give it.
You gotta give it time. You
talk
gotta
to
give
me
it
for like
time.
15, 20
Dab
seconds
is
so
going
Twitch
up.
chat can catch up.
It's building.
Dab is going.
Oh,
Give
baby!
me Depengu.
Yeah.
No one actually likes the "this is fine."
This is
Yeah.
fine. It's hard. Also, you have to type 4 letters.
So you have to have some of the like more average emotes so that the really good ones can shine. You know, you need a scale.
That's why we have Vedis as a caster. So
yeah.
All right, wait.
The inferior analyst.
Yeah,
we should start
yeah.
that
Okay,
heavy.
I've just been told that we have a bonus replay. I don't know what
Okay,
it is,
I'm
but
back
it's
on the
gonna have
board.
sound on it, so be ready for that. Let's check it out.
So do we talk or not?
I don't know.
The only thing Vitality's going to win this split.
Vedius stepped up as he wants to take on Yamato. For some reason, I mean, Vedius weighs less than the actual suit, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Best of one, no holds barred. Belly bump, and let's go.
Well, let's go.
Than Vedius did. And I can see Vedius's face. He is straight up like, he's about to come on ready check, and he's like,
Yeah,
this is fine.
I give it. I give it a question mark
because we weren't gonna include it in the original video because we're like, all right, we should just focus on the tournament. And then Vedius came out of nowhere, talked trash, and he got beat so fast that we're like, oh, we can put this,
This
in
is
for
the
chat.
only
I'm a
thing-
Twitch chat here. Look at that, 60% on question
only
mark.
thing that Vitality will win all splits, and they are 2 games away from taking second place in the battle for the bye. So
what you're
All right, I'm getting it. No, we did not agree to this. This was
right.
not part of the deal.
Question mark.
Why was this
There
here?
we go.
Devin was like, why did you
right.
show this? What is going on?
I have one quick question for Vedius. One quick question.
Yeah.
Who is the superior analyst?
Fisher
Okay,
is
there we go. That's
currently
all I
the
wanted.
superior
That's all I
Yeah,
analyst.
currently for the rest of the regular season.
But I have his
All right.
jacket.
Oh,
That's
sure.
all that
right.
matters.
It's actually my old suit.
Fantastic.
Get
boys.
off my set now.
Deficient,
Off you
quick
go.
shot.
Get off my set.
Who's it? All right, never mind. You guys, they have to go cast some games. I'm joined by Vedius, as you may have noticed, he bullied his way onto the set. And of course,
Oh yeah, Sheepy's
the
hit too.
biggest star that Hamburg has ever known. It's Unicorns of Love coach, Fabian Sheepy Milan. So welcome, Sheepy. We didn't really have any personal attacks for you in the replay. Do you feel left out or do you feel good?
I
about
feel
that?
good because if it was anything like videos got, I would feel really.
You got demolished in that tournament
I want to
too.
say, if we had to pick a keyword for the LCS broadcast and our humor, I would say petty. Is definitely the one we really like. We like to get in those little jabs.
But it's really good because we've got so many clutch tiebreak against those top playoff spots, and we've got Sheepy here, who's really familiar with those, right, my friend?
Yeah, in the past, right?
Ooh, again spicy
It's a little
today.
sad.
I'm
It is a little
happy to be
sad. All right, well, we're going to be on the
Thank you
lookout
for
for
coming,
more
my
great
friend.
plays today. As you mentioned already, Vedius, Vitality, Schalke, G2 battling it out for the second seed, battling for that bye, that spot in the semifinals. Now, for those of you not familiar with 3-way tiebreakers, some parts of it are simple. Some parts of it are a little bit more complicated. We are going to be playing a single round robin between the 3 teams. That's the schedule that you see behind me. At the end of the day, if any team is 2-0, they are going to get second. The team that is 1-1 will then get third, and the team that is 0-2 will get fourth. Things, however, get a little bit more complicated in the event that every team goes 1-1, which is possible. Then they are seeded into this other bracket, which you can see on the side. This is a single elimination bracket. Now, how we decide who gets the bye in this elimination bracket, as you can see here, is going to be based on who is the speedy boy, a.k.a. the team that won the game the fastest. So the speedy boy will get the bye. The other 2 teams will face off. Loser of the first round, they're 4th. Loser of the second round, they're 3rd. And the winner of the whole thing will get 2nd. So a lot of paths, all of them leading ultimately to that bye, locking a spot in the Madrid. Whether or not it'll be a final spot or a 3rd place spot, we will find out later today. And this is, of course, incredibly big, gentlemen, in not just the fight for being on top of the ULCS, but also on the path to Worlds in terms of getting points, in terms of trying to, make your mark internationally, not just here in Europe.
Yeah, I think generally outside of obviously being first, and then you can directly go to Worlds, the points will matter a lot. You know, Fnatic and G2 have already aggravated points for themselves, so getting the points in. But I think also making second place is just such a huge advantage because you see what the other teams are already playing. So whenever we went into playoffs and we didn't make one of the top spots, it's actually really a big disadvantage that you have to show your hand, especially if you play in the 4th to 5th, because both teams are right about the same power level. So you really have to show, you know, to work your way through. So that can be a disadvantage, and the first and second tier, you know, seed definitely have an advantage.
I think all these teams want to get the best seed possible, but also these tiebreaker games are really important because yesterday's games were bad from our top teams. They all got upset. Everything kind of fell apart. And it's really important that they bounce back and prove we are a contender for the final, because even Fnatic, they didn't look as clean as they can. And we want to see, again, these confidence play from these top teams to show that coming into playoffs, we're going to have a competitive couple of weeks.
And of course, with Schalke and Misfits now in playoffs as well, two teams that don't have championship points, it's critical for them to put some points on the board or just win out if they actually want that path to Worlds. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult, as many other teams have already accrued points from the previous split. Now, some weeks ago, few would have picked Vitality as a contender for second place. I think that would be just about all of us. That was before the arrival of jungler Kikis, a veteran for this team, has been so good and has put the entire team on his back in what has been a massive turnaround.
He has looked fantastic since he joined this team. I believe they're currently 7-1 since his arrival to Vitality, and what a change he's made to the team. Originally, they were very much a linear style team. They needed an early game lead, largely off the back of Gilius, and if they couldn't get it, the team did nothing. Jizuke was out of his comfort zone in terms of what he was able to play. We saw a couple of crazy picks in the bot, but this team just kind of wasn't meshing together. The moment Kikis joined, all the pieces of the puzzle just seemed to work, and they found so much success.
And I think it's really, you know, it's a bit memey, but it really feels like Kikis and Gilius are doing the same, but Kikis is just doing it better. Because he has been playing aggressive, he's been snowballing the early game leads, same way that Gilius was trying to aggravate that as well in Vitality before, but Kikis is just very, very consistent. We saw it in the play right now there as well. Where's question marks for Jankos? How was he playing? I don't think he had the best performance, and he has not been showing then for a longer period of time now. So I really do think that Kikis, though, is really stepping up, and if somebody gets ahead and pushes the team in the early game, it's definitely going over him.
And you have to start wondering, is this guy in contention for that MVP slot? We have to make our votes by the end of tomorrow, and based on his performance today, could be a big indicator, because if he takes this team to a bye and he is tied up, or both them and Fnatic sit in the top 2 spots in Europe, considering what he's done for this team, is he in that conversation, or has he provided more value than what someone like Caps has to Fnatic?
It's a huge discussion, and I think one of the first times that you're looking at other people that isn't just the best player on the best team for MVP, because very often it's been the Rekkles or the Caps in the past, or the Vizicachi, if we go back far enough to the Shen glory days. Now, we talk about Kikis, obviously high praise for this guy overall, but I do want to talk about the other two junglers as well in this bracket, Jankos and Amazing. I want to start with Jankos. Sheepy, now you already mentioned that this guy has been struggling. I want you to give me a little bit more here. What do you think is going wrong for him? What needs to change if G2 want to find success?
Yeah, I think he has a little bit of an identity crisis, because back in the day when you think about Jankos, you were thinking about early game pressure, you were thinking about First Blood King. This guy was playing in your face, he was very, very hard to handle because you didn't know how aggressive he was going to play. And that's set a little bit back now that he's playing with mainly around perks. He's trying to look to facilitate his lanes, and also he has really crazy play styles from Hjarnan in the bot lane. I think most of the split they were playing like this kind of Heimerdinger, Fiddlesticks combo. There was like some time where we had the funnel strategy. Now that he goes back towards the roots where you actually have to jungle alone, I think he's a little bit lost, and somebody who, like Amazing, who was skipping all of the steps, all the funnel, all this kind of weird stuff that was coming in, I think he feels way more at play setting up other lanes as well.
Now, Amazing is the third jungler here. Vedius, I want you to give me some quick thoughts on how this guy is going to stack up against the other two, and then in a moment we'll get Twitch and the rest of the chats involved to see how your guys' opinions stack up against the rest of the world.
So for me, I'm looking at Amazing, and I think that he is very much he provides what the team needs. He's the supportive character in the background. He's not the primary star of the team, but he does everything that he needs to, and he does it really well. Consistency is something I think he's developed over the second half of the split especially. He often likes to play a lot of those tank-style junglers, and I feel like that right now he is the exact opposite in terms of play style to Kikis, and that's a large part of why Schalke as a team have been finding a lot of success. But how those two stylistically match up is something we're going to get to see later today.
All right, styles aside, let's see who the strongest jungler is. You saw the graphic at the bottom of the screen. You can vote now in chat by spamming your favorite whatever its name that is, Kikis, Amazing, or Jankos.
I feel like it's going to be skewed.
Well, we've given them a couple seconds to get ahead of us, and you can see already, guys, if you want to go a quick turn around here. Kikis is so good that Jankos' bar isn't even under Jankos right now.
But a lot of fans coming back in favor of Jankos. I'm surprised that Amazing's not as high. Maybe after his loss to H2K yesterday, people have lost confidence in him.
I think also Kika's style is way more polarizing because he's playing so aggressive. He's actually more than both of them together, so it's actually really nice. But I think it's deserved. We've been talking and praising him so many times. So I really do believe that, you know, this kind of echoes what we're thinking as well. And, you know, if you have this kind of support right now, I really want him to step up today, and we're gonna follow what he's exactly doing, and if he's, you know, deserving of those 54% from the fans as well.
And of course, momentum is a big factor. Our first match of the day pins Schalke and Vitality against each other. So Amazing versus Kikis. This is the next chapter, however, in a different rivalry. That's one between Upset and Attila. So these are two guys coming into the league who I think have looked, you know, we've seen so much trash talk from these guys, so much back and forth across all of their careers, I think it's safe to say, especially now that they both come into the LCS. But who actually has the edge in this matchup? How are these guys actually going to play it out?
Well, funnily enough, it was always Upset who was touted to have the edge the moment that these two guys arrived at the beginning of the year. Even Reckless himself said that this guy could be the next rival to him after the departure of Sven. But throughout the year, it was Attila that was coming out on top. And until recently, Vitality held the head-to-head record over Schalke throughout this entirety of 2018, and it's been really impressive to see that this guy, even though he's been overshadowed, especially in the way people talk about him, he's been able to step up and has been able to consistently shut down Upset. But I do feel that this guy has developed in terms of his consistency, his playmaking potential has increased dramatically as well, and I think we're in for a pretty heated battle between these two today.
Yeah, I mean, really, Attila is somebody who's been very, very vocal about his performance. He is somebody who really likes to talk a lot of smack. And I think Upside has been a little bit more calmed down and, you know, tries to figure out where exactly he's standing. I think he's very, you know, to the ground. And also his stats are very, very impressive. So I think that Upside is exactly what kind of is needed for an ADC. Right now, a lot of consistency, a lot of level-headed thinking. And I don't think Attila is providing the same. But when he has this kind of place, this is like normally more from Attila. But cohesive, how Schalke is playing, stylistically seeing as well, Upside just perfectly fits the mold.
I want to see, though, what kind of fire Attila is going to bring today. We talk a lot about what this guy can do. We saw the Draven versus Hans Sama, the notorious Draven One Trick, taking him down. So it feels like he has been flexing a lot recently, showing that he can go toe-to-toe with the best. I wonder if we'll see the same performance today. But we mentioned junglers earlier. I want to talk about the specifics of the jungle matchup now. Amazing versus Kikis. Vedius, you were talking about Amazing already. You kind of highlighted the difference in roles here. How do you expect this to actually play out on stage?
Well, I feel like their difference in style is quite interesting because their whole job is to shut each other down. Because a Kikis is all about counter jungling. He gets those early skirmish junglers. He likes strong pressure lanes. He looks to invade the enemy jungle, find early kills, build advantages for himself. Whereas Amazing is much more team focused. He's about controlling the enemy jungler, mitigating his early game impact, and then scaling more into this team fight phase while Schalke is better able to shine. So it's fascinating to see how these two junglers will match up, because the last time they met, they were able to control Kikis. They were able to keep him restrained in his own half of the jungle, but we've already seen these new picks come out. Can Schalke restrain him once again?
Well, let's talk about some factors then when it comes to finding a victory here. I want to start with Schalke, talk about how they're going to find a win here, what they need to do to set themselves up for success. Now, you guys came up with some key factors for victory, looking at what would need to happen in order for Schalke to come out on top with this first win. Sheepy, talk to me about this first one. Visit Chachi on Comfort Champions.
Yeah, I think when Chachi was on a tank champion, we saw him in Rise, which I didn't think he is, you know, it was a okay performance. We saw the sick escape from him topside, but he wasn't really carrying so hard as much as when he was playing something like Poppy or Shogath. With those champions, he really, really knows the limits. He was somebody who was introducing them as well to the LCS, one of the first people to play them. And I really do think it's important for Schalke, who is so centered around having a strong team fight and having a strong team overall, that they can just go into mid-game and start those team fights that they're winning, to have Chachi on a champion that he's very comfortable on, that he can be the backbone of the team that he is so many times in their wins.
And for Schalke to find this win, they're going to have to rely on their mid lane and Nuke Duck as well. Enable this guy to get an early lead and use him to then scale better into these late game team fights, because we know, or we're expecting, a lot of early pressure from the side of Vitality, and getting that comfort pick for Zichachi in the top lane and enabling this man on your screen is how Schalke can secure themselves a top 2
Yeah,
spot.
and just to like jump on that. I really think that if we're looking around Schalke, like bot lane is very consistent, top lane is very consistent, but mid lane is really where in the early game we're seeing
All right,
a lot
Sheepy,
like
I'm going to have to
picks
cut
and
you
so on.
off because the teams are ready, but I want to see how it's going to unfold. Vitality have the momentum, but can Schalke bring it back after a disappointing loss yesterday? Let's find out as we head down to our casters for our first game of the day.